Because the child was crying full on for these many days, her heart is weak now. Her heart is not functioning properly. So she won't go a period. I'm giving you a window of 8 till child about the third. If he has a little, a teeny tiny promise in our life, he wouldn't let us go down in that trouble. Because even if we are born again, we have troubles and problems in our life. But if God has a teeny tiny promise in our life, He wouldn't let us down in that on the way. He will get us out of that problem, so that His name will be glorified. And 8 days passed, and then nothing happened to me. And then everybody was like amazed because nothing happened. And then they all came back home, everything was fine, but the doctor said, like, meningitis is a serious disease, so if you get meningitis, like, even if you survive meningitis, the chances of living a very good life is very low. So either the child will be deaf, because it will affect her ears, or she could be dumb, she couldn't speak, or it could affect her brain, she can't study properly, or she could be paralyzed even. It could happen in the coming few days. It's a very deadly disease. But then years passed. I passed 10th with very good score, passed 12th with very good score. I finished my bachelor degree. I got a job. Nothing happened to me. It was all God's mercy and grace. It doesn't end there. I'm not done. I'm not even halfway there. Anyway, so the next 2.5 years, it was a very crucial period. My immune system was very weak. If I get like a teeny tiny cold, then it won't go away. So, like, if you keep on the head, the lice will bite you. If you keep on the floor, the ant will bite you. So my mom was just full on carrying me in her arms all day long. She didn't let me catch a fever or cold. She was trying her level best. So anyway, in that 2.5 years, I got tuberculosis, which is a very, very bad disease. And I got bronchitis. All these happened, but still I survived with no issues. And I look like a skeleton, to be honest. I literally look like a stick. My mom used to hold my hand and pray every single day, God, please, I don't want my child to look like a skeleton. And all my bone, my muscle, even the teeny tiny blood passing through my vein is a result of prayer and tears from my mom. Anyway, moving on. And then I was a very antisocial child, so I never used to talk to anybody. You ask my name, I'd say, Feba, no, walk away. I never used to talk to anybody. I was easily bullied in school, and I was just like that. And then till 10th standard, I had my first set of friends came when I was in 7th. Till 7th grade, I never had any friends. I was very antisocial. And then till 10th standard, I was never talking to anybody. Till when I got my 10th result, I got good marks. And then we sent this to one of my family friends. They live in Canada. And then they are like, oh my God, this is such beautiful marks. Can we adopt this child? We'll take care of her. Let her come to Canada. We'll teach her. She'll stay with us. And they were so kind. They were so nice to say this to us. So since then we decided, okay, we're going outside. I'm going outside and studying there. And since that very day, I don't know, drastic change happened in my life. So if God wants you, God has a plan in your life. He will change you. He will change you like He is the potter. He will change you like you are the clay. And He made me the best version of me. Imagine an anti-social child who wouldn't even talk to anybody, who would be easily bullied by people. In LKG, what is it? Kindergarten, I was bullied. It was very bad. If that child came to another country without anybody's support, do you think that child would survive here? No way. On my 3rd day, I would have definitely gone back home crying with homesickness. But that's not what happened. Since 10th standard, since that day the decision was made, God changed me rapidly. In 10th, I had 3 friends. In 11th standard, I had 150 friends. Not even kidding. I used to talk to every stranger in school, and I had so many friends because God changed my character so that I wouldn't feel hesitant to talk to anybody. He changed my character so much. Anyway, and then after 10th, we had, yeah. Okay, go till after 12. Okay, we decided let's go to Canada. But then I did not have maths in high school, so I couldn't go to Canada because the course I wanted was not there. And then we decided, okay, let's go to Australia because it's a good country. And then my first option was South Australia because it's a regional area and I'll get 5 points for my PR. So I decided, I planned out my whole life in South Australia. I applied to University of South Australia for nursing. I found the accommodation, I found some friends that was living there, and everything was planned out until the very last moment. It was a fasting prayer. A 3-day fasting prayer, the last day, agent is calling me, and he said, "I'm really sorry, but the admission got it's closed. We couldn't get your loan approved, and then it's all gone. I don't think you can get into the uni." And I asked him, does it mean that I'm gonna stay in India for another year because I haven't applied to any of the colleges in India? Am I gonna stay home doing nothing? He said, "Oh, I'm so sorry. There's nothing we can do." That was a fasting prayer. The morning session was over. I went back inside our church, I shut the doors, I locked the doors, and I started screaming and started crying in front of the God for 45 minutes. Non-stop crying. Everybody outside was worried because the door was locked. I didn't know what to do. I just went inside and cried. And when I came back out, there was a few missed calls on my phone. When I took it, it was the same agent. He's like, "Oh, there's a few spots left at Western Sydney University." I was like, "Oh, that's Sydney. I don't want to go to Sydney." But he's like, "No, so that's the last few. That's the only spots available." I'm like, "Okay, yeah, whatever, we'll apply." And then that week, same week, I got my loan approved. I was waiting for 2 months, I get it approved on the same week. I got it approved, and I applied to Western Sydney. I got admission in Western Sydney. Everything happened at the very last second for God's name to be glorified. So here's a thought that I heard from somebody. So when God created the world, He first created the plants, the trees, and everything else. And then after 3 days, He created man. Because when man opens his eyes, when he wakes up, what does he need? He needs to breathe first. And where does the oxygen come from? The plants and the trees. So if God didn't create the plants and the trees, what is humans going to breathe? Nothing. There's no oxygen to breathe. So God knows what you need 3 days before you need it. God has planned everything in your life. That 45 minutes, I thought, God, what is the point? I'm going to waste 1 year of my life. Everything that I planned was just useless. But that's not what God's plan is. This Isaiah 43:2. I don't have time. I don't know if we have time to put it on, but I'll read it. 53:2. Hang on. 55:8. Isaiah 55:8 says like this.
My thoughts are not yours.
I'm sorry. Anyway, it's like this. നിന്റെ വഴികളല്ല എന്റെ വിചാരങ്ങൾ നിങ്ങളുടെ വിചാരങ്ങളല്ല നിങ്ങളുടെ വഴികൾ എന്റെ വഴികളുമല്ല എന്ന് യഹോവയുടെ അരുളപ്പാട്. Our plans is not His plans. Our deeds is not His deed. He has His own way. He has His own plan. Whatever you plan out, if it doesn't work out, don't get disappointed because God has His plan, which is the best plan for you. Imagine me in South Australia. I wouldn't have such a good social life. I wouldn't meet all you guys. No, I'm here. That's what God's plan is. I wanted to go to South Australia because I wanted 5 points. I already got PR in 2 months. I didn't need that. That is what God's plan is. Never get disappointed if your plan gets failed because God has His plan, and that is the best plan in your life. Anyway, moving on. So it was New Year's Eve. I'm sorry, time is running late, but I'll finish quickly. It was New Year's Eve. In 2020, and I was praying, and then I was just praying, and this word is just coming to my mouth. I'm with you, says the Lord. I'm with you, says the Lord. It just keeps on coming to my mouth. I was like, okay, thank you, Lord, for saying that. And then I went to my pastor, so he was touching my head and praying, and he said the same thing to me. The Lord says He's with you. I was like, oh, that's so nice of God to say that. I was so happy. And then I took out words, because we can take out words during New Year. Took out words. It says, it's the same thing. It's the third time I got it. And every single Sunday after that week, I was hearing the same thing from God. I was so happy. I didn't even realize that life could be hard living alone, but then God was staying with me to protect me and never let me alone. So it was an amazing journey. And one more thing, after a few weeks, I was praying and then I saw this vision. I was standing in front of a sea. I was viewing like a little girl, like a little baby, and God was holding my hand. And this sea, little did I realize later that this sea was this 3.5 years I survived alone. And God was holding my hand. I tried to run away so many times in my vision. I tried to run away so many times, but He was just holding my hand so tight. And He said, we're going to walk this together. It was amazing. In this 3.5 years, never even let go of my hand. So many times I thought, God, I'm sick. I don't know what to do. When I was home, if I even get a headache, I call my mom. I can't take sickness myself. I want you to be with me. I wouldn't let go of her. She'd stay with me till I go to sleep. I was a very spoon-fed child. She used to feed me, literally feed me till I was in 10th standard. And then that child, I don't know how I survived this 3.5 years. I got sick a few times when there was nobody to look after me. And God was there right next to me. That was the vision that I saw that day. God was there with me, to walk with me in that sea, holding my hand. So many times I thought I'm doing this alone. So many things happened in my life, so many difficulties that I faced, and I thought I'm facing this alone. No, I was not. So many times I thought I'm falling down, but I never fell down. He was holding me. I fell into His arms. He was carrying me all through these 3.5 years. It was just amazing. Yeah, what else? Yeah, that's all. There's so many things I want to say, but we don't have time. So, God is amazing. He works wonders in your life. He always stays with you all the time. That's all. Thank you.
And please pray for it. Everyone, touch your heart.